Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me this week back up at the allotment, which all I can describe is a bit of a mess. As you all know, we went on holiday last week, so it's got a bit more overrun than it already was. So this week I want to talk to you all about my plans for the coming few months and what I'm going to be getting up to today. So thank you for joining me here on my channel, as you always do. It really is appreciated. So today, before it gets too hot, I'm going to try and take the area that I discussed with you all a couple of weeks ago where my onions were and get it all sorted out. Now it's going to be a massive job, and I think I'm going to have a little chat with you about my plans in the coming months with what I'm going to do with the allotment, with our new arrival due in November. So it is going to change things a little bit, but I'm still excited. We are going to change the plans for this area, but first of all I really need to get cracking with that. So as you can see, it is still really out of control. What I'm going to plan on doing today is basically ripping as much of this out as I possibly can to give me a fresh canvas, and then to start again. And then I'll explain my plans for this area and the surrounding parts of the allotment when I've done it. So fingers crossed, before it gets too hot I get a massive chunk of this done today. So wish me luck. Well, there we go. So that's enough for now, and as you can see, I've made a start. So I've probably done about a third of it, but obviously I do have to be careful, and I want to be careful, so I'd come back and do it in little bits and often. So what I'll do now is go down to the shed with you guys, get a drink, and I'll explain all the plans that I've got for upcoming episodes. Okay, so that is it for this episode in terms of weeding that area, because I do, like I said earlier, need to be a little bit careful. But whilst I'm here, I've picked some gorgeous dahlias to take home, as well as some of my gladioli. So plenty of flowers to brighten up the house this week, and I'm going to take some to my friend as well. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk to you about briefly before I go is my plans for that area of the allotment. So because of our future plans and what's going on in the next 6 months, we are going to have to take a bit of a back step on maybe growing quite so much next year. So what I'm going to be doing is starting a little bit early this year in terms of putting the allotment to bed and basically weeding over an area that has got no produce in it, and then covering it and mulching it, and then just waiting for the spring. My plans are, because you all know I love flowers, is to have a huge cut flower garden next year. But what I want to do is seed the area so we can have it as lawn. So if you can give me any ideas, because I'm not sure how to do it. So say I want to plant, I don't know, 200 gladioli bulbs next year in my cut flower area of the allotment, but still want that to be lawn. How do I go about doing that, do you think? Should I do it in pots? Should I dig holes in the ground? Obviously, if we're then going to mow it, we're going to be mowing over the flowers, sort of, especially in the summertime, an awful lot. So it's something that I'm struggling with working out what is the best way to do it. But if you've got any suggestions on how I can make a cut flower garden whilst still having lawn, that'd be awesome. I'm wondering whether to do some similarly to the front of my plot and just cut out big circles in the turf and just fill them with bulbs, because gladioli and dahlias are my absolute favourite. So yeah, that's the plan. So I will try and get a drawn up sketch for you so you can see in the next few weeks. But basically what I'm going to do, for those of you who watch my videos quite regularly, you will know sort of my planting areas. So I'm going to go right from the front of the polytunnel all the way to the very back of the plot, which is actually quite a big space, but I want lots of flowers as well as vegetables next year. So bear that in mind. I'm also thinking of maybe putting a seating area, and it will allow me somewhere else that I can film a bit better. So sorry, I've had to move the camera because of the wind. So when I just want to have a sit down and a chat with you guys, just to catch up and see how things are going, or actually just have a drink or a cup of tea, I've got an area to sit and do that, because in the shed in the summertime it gets silly hot. So you know, I want somewhere outside where I can sit and we can look at the flowers and talk about the allotment and just really get to the nitty-gritty. So that is my plan. In terms of the rest of the plot, once I've done that back end, which is going to take a while, as you can see from the amount of weeds I've got to clear, little and often, that is what they say. I'm going to move down each stage of the plot and then do the same and cover it, obviously areas that aren't being used, as I harvest things. So fingers crossed that'll all work out rather well. But what I'm going to do now is take my flowers and go and enjoy the rest of my day, because I am now absolutely exhausted. It is approaching 11:30 and it is getting really hot. So probably shouldn't be wearing a jumper either, but never mind. But I hope you've all had a fabulous week. I really feel like I am sort of getting the urge now to be back up at the plot, especially when you reap the rewards like those. And I hope you're all doing well. Tell me how your plots are going this year, because I did speak to a couple of people on the site who said everyone's year's been a bit rubbish this year, so not to worry about it too much. I hope you are all alright and you're all staying safe. Keep me posted on how your plots are doing, and I'll see you all very soon. As always, take care, stay safe and look after each other. Bye.